Welcome to English Language for SS1 at LightTech Academy. Today we study comprehension, implicit and explicit meaning. What is comprehension? Comprehension means understanding a passage of text. In English language examinations, WAEC, NECO, JAM, comprehension is one of the most important sections. You must read a given passage carefully and answer questions about it. Two types of meaning in a text. 1. Explicit meaning, literal/surface meaning. Explicit means directly stated, clearly expressed, obvious. The information is written out clearly in the text, you do not need to read between the lines or make inferences. Keyword, stated. Signal phrases in questions, according to the passage, the writer says, the text states, what does X refer to in the passage? Example text, Lagos, with an estimated population of 25 million people, is the most populous city in Africa and one of the fastest growing megacities in the world. Explicit question, what is the estimated population of Lagos? Answer, 25 million, directly stated in the text. Explicit question, which continent has Lagos as its most populous city? Answer, Africa, directly stated. 2. Implicit meaning, inferential/deep meaning. Implicit means not directly stated but suggested, hinted at, or implied by the text. To understand implicit meaning, you must read between the lines, use clues in the text combined with your background knowledge and reasoning to deduce what the writer means but does not say directly. Keyword, implied. Signal phrases, what can be inferred from the passage, what does the writer imply, what is suggested by, what is the writer's attitude towards, why does the writer? Example text, the market at Balogun, Lagos, buzzes from dawn to dusk with thousands of traders and millions of naira changing hands every hour, yet barely any of this activity appears in official government records. Implicit questions and answers. What can be inferred about trading at Balogun market? Implicit, much of the market activity is informal, unrecorded, the informal economy of Nigeria is large. The text does not say, informal economy, but implies it through, barely appears in official records. What does the writer imply about Lagos commerce? The writer implies Lagos has enormous economic activity that goes unrecorded, suggesting the formal economy statistics underestimate Lagos's true economic output. Key comprehension skills. 1. Identification of main idea. The main idea is the central point of the passage, what the whole passage is about. It is usually stated in the opening paragraph, topic sentence, or implied throughout. Every other part of the passage supports the main idea. Technique, after reading, ask yourself, what is this passage mostly about in one sentence? 2. Identification of supporting details. Supporting details are facts, examples, or evidence that explain or prove the main idea. Technique, find the main idea first, then identify which sentences provide evidence, examples, reasons, or elaborations. 3. Understanding vocabulary in context. WAEC often asks the meaning of a word as used in the passage. The same word may have different meanings in different contexts. Technique, even if you don't know the word, look at the sentence the word is in, the sentences before and after, the general topic of the passage, clue words, synonyms, antonyms, definitions given nearby. Example, the principal's remarks were quite candid, leaving no room for misinterpretation. Candid in this context means honest/frank/direct, the context shows the opposite of ambiguity, no room for misinterpretation. 4. Understanding tone and attitude. Tone is the writer's attitude toward the subject and/or the audience. It is conveyed through word choice, diction, imagery, and style. Common tones in WAEC passages. Critical, the writer criticizes, finds fault, negative. Optimistic, the writer is hopeful, positive about the future. Pessimistic, the writer is gloomy, negative about the future. Objective/neutral, the writer presents facts without bias. Satirical, the writer mocks or ridicules, often through irony, sarcasm. Concerned/alarmed, the writer is worried about a problem. Admiring/eulogistic, the writer praises, expresses admiration. Nostalgic, the writer fondly recalls the past. Nigerian comprehension example. Passage, the once pristine mangrove forest of the Niger Delta, home to some of the world's most diverse aquatic life, have been reduced to oil-soaked wastelands by decades of spills. Fish have disappeared. Farmland has been poisoned. Communities that survived for generations on fishing now watch their children go to bed hungry. Yet despite this catastrophe, investigations and legal battles stretch on endlessly, and oil giants pay only token fines. When will justice come? Explicit questions. What has happened to the mangrove forest of the Niger Delta? They have been damaged by oil spills and reduced to wastelands, explicitly stated. What did the Niger Delta communities traditionally depend on for food? Fishing, explicitly stated, communities that survived for generations on fishing. Implicit questions. What is the writer's attitude towards the oil companies? Critical/angry, the writer implies the oil companies are responsible and not being held accountable, token fines, investigations stretch on endlessly, when will justice come? The rhetorical question implies justice has not come. What can be inferred about the Nigerian legal system's handling of environmental cases? The legal process is slow and ineffective, implied by legal battles stretch on endlessly, and the community's ongoing suffering. What does the phrase, token fines, imply? The fines are minimal and inadequate relative to the damage caused. The word token implies something symbolic, not substantive. 5. Drawing inferences. An inference is a logical conclusion drawn from evidence in the text plus your background knowledge. When making an inference, A. Identify the evidence, what the text says. B. Identify what you already know, background knowledge. C. Combine them to reach a conclusion the text suggests but does not state. Example: the secondary school in the village had no electricity, no library, and only 3 textbooks for 400 students. Yet the students scored above average in the WAEC examinations. Inference: the students demonstrated exceptional dedication and resilience. Despite poor facilities, they achieved academic success, implying personal effort and teacher quality more than resources. 6. Reference and pronoun resolution. WAEC questions often ask, to what does the word it /the /this /there refer in paragraph 2? Technique: look at the sentence or sentences before the pronoun. The pronoun usually refers to the most recently mentioned noun, its antecedent. How to answer comprehension questions effectively, WAEC strategy. 1. Read the passage once, get the overall meaning. 2. Read the questions, know what to look for. 3. Read the passage again, this time looking for answers to specific questions. 4. For explicit questions, find the relevant sentence, rephrase in your own words, do not copy word for word. WAEC examiners deduct marks for verbatim copying. 5. For implicit/inference questions, go beyond what is stated, use clues and logic. 6. For vocabulary questions, use context, do not rely solely on dictionary memory. 7. Ensure your answer is complete but concise, answer exactly what is asked. 8. Use correct English in your answers, grammar and spelling matter. Summary vocabulary questions, common WAEC approach. Question: find in the passage a word or phrase which means the same as extremely poor/poverty-stricken. Approach: look for synonyms in the passage, it might be destitute, indigent, impoverished, penurious. Pick the word from the passage that best matches. WAEC exam tips. 1. Never copy the passage word for word, always paraphrase. 2. Answer in complete sentences, unless the question says, in 3 words or gives a word limit. 3. Do not add information from outside the passage, Base your answers on what the passage says, even if you disagree with the content. 4. Distinguish between explicit, stated, and implicit, implied, questions. Know which type each question is. 5. For tone/attitude questions, look for emotive language, words that suggest emotion. Repetition emphasizes what the writer cares about. Rhetorical questions, the writer is not expecting an answer, they are making a point. 6. For Nigerian WAEC passages, themes often include corruption, education challenges, oil pollution, Niger Delta, development, poverty, cultural values, democracy, health. Be familiar with this context. Summary. Comprehension equals understanding a text in detail. Explicit meaning equals directly stated in the text, answer using text evidence. Implicit meaning equals suggested/implied, requires inference using text clues plus reasoning. Key skills, main idea, supporting details, vocabulary in context, tone/attitude, pronoun reference. WAEC strategy, read twice, paraphrase, complete sentences, use only text evidence, identify question type, explicit versus implicit. Nigerian passage themes, corruption, oil pollution, education, development, culture, democracy. Powered by LightTech Academy. academy.lightech.com.ng NECO-approved SS1 English Language.